Hello, we're on again, and I'm trying to make sure that you can understand what I'm saying. And I hope that all this comes through as a real good broadcast. I have the headphones on so I can check the sound, and there's a lot of little things in it sometimes that need to be zeroed in on if it gets out of hand. I can tell better with the headphones on. But now I've got my signature platinum wig on. I mean, this is what I use in public. It's what I use to be identified by as an avatar or icon, whatever you want to call it. But this is what I wear out in parades. If I go to a gay bar, which is very seldom, then I would wear this. Maybe not, but depends on the outreach that I can expect from it. If I go to a big bar, like if I was to go to one in Atlanta or Asheville, North Carolina, I would probably wear it because somebody there has seen me on Twitter or Facebook and they're going to know me. I've got a new Facebook page now, and it's listed just as Wendy McCraw. Nothing fancy about it. So if you want to check that, I would appreciate it. This video that I'm doing today has to do with things that you might want to check out for yourself online. There are things that, I don't know. Look, some of it kind of borders, and unless you check it out, you won't know. But some of it kind of borders on God, I can't remember his name now. The guy that Donald Trump takes his word for. Well, we don't want to do that. Alex Jones, that's his name. But there are things out there. Now, David Wilcox covers over some of the same things. And I know you've seen David Wilcox on the Ancient Alien channels. He's there. He's been there a long time. Not only a long time, he has studied previous to that, way back in history. That man's got a mind that won't quit. Now, if you want to check out some good videos, go to davidwilcock.com, and he will educate you on some things that some of it blows Alex Jones out of the ballpark. But if you want to know the truth, then you need to check with credible sources. See, David Wilcock has had several insiders talk with him. He gets the benefit of some of these people that have been in government service for years, and now they're retired, and some of them are on death's bed, so to speak, and they got nothing to hide. I mean, why should they? I mean, so they signed a report. Conditions that they would never reveal things. Well, how you gonna hurt them now on death's bed? So it's just time for this stuff to come out. It's just time for it. We're ready for it. We can handle it. Don't think for a second that the American public can't handle it, because they can. We've been through a lot of things. If you can handle something like 9/11, you can handle anything, because that was rough. I remember it. I remember what I was doing when I heard it. I had the TV going in the background, and I heard some something going on, and then I went on and sat down and watched what was happening. Well, anyway, let me move on here. This is not uh, not to put any one particular department of the government down. This is to tell you what you're up against if you want to find out and know the truth. Their job is to protect you from you. That's the way they see it. Well, we can't let this information out. Are you kidding? Well, the economy would collapse, or the religions would all collapse. Well, they don't want their religions to collapse, even though you might think they do. The religions is part of the way they control you. It kind of goes like this. There's an awful lot of people out there. We can't control them all. Not very easily. Not unless we kill 3/4 of them. Then we can control them. So here's the bargain we're going to make with you, Vatican and other places. You jump in there and control them for us. We don't care if they give you money tax-free or whatever. We just want you to keep them under control. Don't let them go rioting in the streets and all that, because if you do, then you failed us. You failed us, and we'll kill them. Now you want to keep your followers and your church members alive, then keep them obedient. You better think up some rules. You better think up some kind of teaching from some way out there, dude. You better think of something to keep them in line, because if you can't, we will. And I promise you that. Now, that's the way the government thinks, and that's the way they talk to the churches. Now, so what's left? Oh, you get people springing up with big mega churches trying to get as many under their umbrella as they can. And of course, with the money too. That's a big factor. It's a big, big factor. I'm not going to tell you it's all spiritual. Shoot, no. No, it's not. And then now what they have to do to justify all this money, you can't just go raising money just because I'm a church. I mean, you got to show somewhere that you're throwing money back to the crowd. And for those that can't afford to keep themselves up, there's a lot of, in other words, most, and I'm not for sure on the documents that concern the church, but in most of your tax-free organizations, they have to donate back to something just to remain legitimate. Now, that don't mean how much they have to give back exactly, but for every much they bring in, they have to donate so much back, and to the goodwill of the people. Now, Jim Jones type societies that spring up like they did down in Guyana. Well, it didn't. They moved to Guyana. They didn't spring up there. And this, the David Koresh deal, that was a tragedy. That was very bad. I mean, it was bad all the way around. It was bad for David. It was bad for his followers. It was bad for the government people that had to attack them. And it was bad for people like Janet Reno, who ordered it. I mean, and politically it was bad too. It was just a messed up deal all the way around. But the point there was that the government will take care of them. If you don't, little church, you better get in there and do what you can to keep them under control, because old mean man will step in if you don't. Now, of course, that may be rough for us to accept, and it is. I don't like it, but that's the way things are at present. Now here's something else while I'm on these sort of topics. And this is what I came here for today. I'm not rambling around. And my sniffy little nose, I've had a cold now for weeks that just won't quite go away. I know I don't sniff coke or nothing. I don't like that. I wouldn't do that stuff. But there is problems that probably won't get resolved because nobody has the nerve or the courage to step in there and say, stop, we're not doing this no more. Nobody can do that. It is so out of control and flowing and running at top speed right now. It'd be like trying to stop a fully fueled and hammer to the floor freight train. You ain't gonna stop it easy. You might derail it, but you're not gonna stop it. But unless you park a Greyhound bus in front of it, maybe. So what I'm trying to tell you here is this stuff is all automatic. It's already in motion. The oligarchies around the world, there's several oligarchies, not just one or two. These oligarchy power groups they're running the world. They're already running it the way they want to run it. They just don't want you interfering. That's basically what's happening. And America's catching on, and they're catching on a whole lot from people that run their little traps like I do. Now, I find out about it through people like David Wilcox. Wilcock, that's his real name, Wilcock. And he finds out through other insiders. And they're just all over the place, and you don't know who's leaking what. It's hard to pin it down. It's hard to say, well, it came from here or it came from there, because you can't prove it. A lot of it you can't. Now, the only thing you can prove is that with a tape like this, that I told you what's happening. They could prove it on me, but then I got no money. I own no property. What are they going to do with me except just lock me up? Charge me with something and lock me up. I mean, that's about the only recourse they got. They did that with Julian Assange. They did that with Reality Winner. They did that with Chelsea Manning. She's the one that kind of started it all. But yeah, they got her back in prison. I mean, back in jail again. This time she is refusing to cooperate with the grand jury. And I don't know. I live with a retired cop. I mean, he's my housemate. I mean, I pay him rent to live here. That's he's kind of like an old uncle to me, really. But it's nothing personal that much. All right, so he says that Chelsea has bit off more than she can chew. That you can't fight with a grand jury. Okay, I don't know. I'm just saying, I hope they haven't overwhelmed her to the point to where they're going to bury her under a ton of paperwork that I don't care how many lawyers she has, they're not going to be able to dig her back out of it. I hope not. I hope we're not in that situation with her. But it could be. And they could keep her there for years until they get her to testify on things that she's already testified on. I mean, what's the point in that? I mean, really, come on now. She's already testified everything she could at her own trial, her own courts martial. So they just want to bury her is what they want to do. And they want to bury Julian too. They want to make a real good example out of him for the press. So it's just a matter of keeping them buried. It's not a matter of court case. Forget the court case. Just bury them. That's what Donald Trump's wanting. That's what he's doing. Okay, enough on that subject. Now, I've talked to you before about FEMA. They are the driving factor for what comes next in American government. Well, Donald, in order to invoke FEMA full force, you have to declare a national emergency. Done. He's done that. The next step is martial law. You got to martial law. Well, that ain't done yet. He ain't picked quite the right thing that he thinks will really justify it. So he's waiting. If the whole Southeast breaks loose with violence, I'm talking about from North Carolina to Florida to Texas, the Southeast. That is federal FEMA region number 4. You didn't think they had that fixed that way? Well, it is. It's FEMA region number 4, federal FEMA region number 4. Keep that in mind. There are 10 federal regions for FEMA. Now, here's what makes FEMA so dangerous. Talking about going around the Constitution. That's what FEMA does. It bypasses the Constitution. Once you invoke FEMA, national emergency, then the martial law and all that, and get it all set up and ready, FEMA is then ready to tell all the governors of the United States, we're in charge now. You can go home. Or you can sit in your offices and draw your salary, but you'll be doing under our directives now, not what you want to do. Okay, I said governors of the states. All right, I also am saying that all the legislatures that all these states have sent to the legislature, all their reps that go there, they can all go home. Well, they may not, but they may stay in their positions and demonstrate. That's about all they can do. Because what you see them doing right now, fighting for impeachment, that's worthless. That ain't going to happen. If it does happen, they're just going to laugh at them. Because the government has suspended the Constitution at that point. It is FEMA. That will run the government. That will actually, they're closing down offices in Washington, D.C. to make D.C. into a national park area so you can go visit all those nice little buildings and take pictures of them and show them to your friends. Well, they're moving to Colorado, most of the government offices. They ain't all got there yet, okay? Just to let you know. But it's going to be underground in rock. I'm talking about like Cheyenne Mountain, where FEMA shares Cheyenne Mountain already with the U.S. Air Force and Space Command. So why are they doing this? Because they know that the Washington, D.C. is going to be flooded out just like New York City if the, the climate change doesn't cease. Well, we know it's not going to cease. We understand that. I do too. The earth, listen, since the earth was created, it's been changing. It never stays the same. The earth is just in, some say it's a cyclic event, that it goes in cycles, and it may. I'm not going to say, exactly, I don't know what cycle it's on, but it sounds logical to me. I'll work with that. Now, The thing with the government is they don't want to be a part of it. First, they want to deny it. And then as it starts to happen, they're going higher. They're going to go up to Colorado. That's where all their offices are going to be. They're not going to be in D.C. no more. It's going to be a flooded national park for you to go visit and look at. Yeah, that's what that's going to be. They may even put Ferris wheels there. Who knows? But now you have what they're doing. Okay, I'm going to be honest with you here. That's what this tape's for. I'm going to lay it out for you a little bit. They're going to let disasters happen, as they already have started with the weather. Now, this is very controversial, almost Alex Jones junk, but it's not. They can envelop weather warfare into the climate change. They know how to do that. That's not a problem for them at all. They know how to do it. It involves cloud seeding. It involves the HARP array up in Alaska that can burst holes through the ionic, not just the stratosphere, but beyond that, the ionosphere, and bounce waves back that can steer the jet stream where they want it to go, so that it carries storm fronts where they want them to go. Excuse me, I hit my mic. Now, that's not fair. That's not nice. You're killing people. I mean, from Texas to Indiana, you're killing people with tornadoes and stuff. But no, we do have people around that say that's Alex Jones trash. That's you don't know what you're talking about. Well, I do, because I've read the books. There is a book called "Angels Don't Play This Harp," and it explains a lot of it. Now that is about the HARP array of antennas up in Alaska. Now there are other things now. They've gone way past that. Now they've got the particle beam satellites up there that can focus into cloud banks. And if they see a pretty big cell starting up somewhere, or one that could be developed into one, that's what they're looking for. They'll focus this satellite, just kind of like in one of those James Bond movies. They'll focus that baby right down onto a cloud or a big cell front coming through, and they'll pump energy into that cloud till they pump it up to where it is super massive, where it's whatever you thought it was going to do, it's going to do 10 times worse than that when they get through pumping it full of energy and heating it up and drawing more moisture into it. They know how to do that. So I'm telling you things that you go do more research on it, okay? Don't take my word for it. Just go, you'll find out that it's worse than what I'm telling you. I'm just giving you an overview. But if you want to know that bad, if you don't, then just skip it. But anyway, these are control measures. Every bit of this is control measures. It's to control you. It's to make you do what they want you to do at the right time. And of course, probably the worst of the control measures is going to be and we've heard about this forever, and I don't know, they may not even have to have a world economic collapse. They may just switch it over without asking anybody. They may just do it, and do it with the card system, not particularly mark of the beast stuff. But it could go to a chip, from a card to a chip. They already got a chip on the cards now. you know. Well, there's one step left away from that. That's where they normally are talking about injecting it is down between your thumb and your index finger. Well, that'd be in your right hand, yeah, but it's down in this little lump of skin here that you're not really going to feel it down in there. They figured out that would be the best place. So we have a lot to either dread or look forward to. And on the soundscape that I listen to on my Spectrum cable, they have a lot of little famous sayings on there that come from different people. And one of them is, most of them came from famous people. One of them says, don't think so much about yesterday till you lose sight of today. In other words, keep your eyes open. Watch, there ain't much you can do about it. I'll be honest with you. There's not much you can do about it personally, by yourself, for yourself, except you can think about things and make decisions. Oh, you're talking about a brave new world. We've got worlds that you don't understand. They're out there. We've got worlds. Now that's a coded message for somebody. Did you catch that? There are worlds out there that we have. Now, I'll talk to you about that on another tape. But there is so much, and they're in control of so much, and they're not going to let you know about it unless it is, okay, on my tape, not my tape, but on my Twitter account, I've got Windy Majestic 12. You know what Majestic 12 means? Some of you do. I know you do. Majestic 12 was a program that was set up under Harry Truman to regulate any what's called exo-political entity information, to govern off-Earth civilizations that we discover or that we work with, and any of that. Well, I know a lot more about that, and I would have to. I can't cover that here. This is already 28 minutes, and I'm going to shut this tape off at about 30 minutes. I don't like to run them past 30 minutes because it makes you dread watching the next tape. Oh, she's going to run her mouth until the microphone melts. No, I don't want to do that. So I'm just saying that we got a lot to learn, and they don't want you to learn it. And you even need to keep that in mind. No, they don't want you to learn it. But I'd rather know it than not know it, wouldn't you? This is your life we're talking about. This is my life that I'm trying to live. I don't want to live it thinking one thing, but it's something else. And right now, what I can tell you is it's always been something else. You just weren't privy to it. And I want to make you privy to it. I don't like being hoodwinked, and I know you don't either. That's why I'm here. I'm here for several reasons, but I'm also here to find love, which I'm still looking for. Oh, poor me, poor me. Okay, well, anyway, I'm here for several reasons, but you need to know that I'm here for your benefit. I'm not here to deceive you or to power games or mind games or show you how much I know. I'm here to make you aware of what I learned a long time ago. See, I've been fighting a thing that and I know you've heard this one because George Bush introduced the term, the New World Order. I've been fighting that thing since 1974 when I learned about it. And you know who I learned about it from? You know, I told you I was in a Green Beret unit. I learned it from them. All right, I'm going to cut this loose. We're 30 minutes into it. I'll get back to it later. Bye.